Good afternoon, everyone. Friends, Rotarians, guests from around the world. What an exciting day it is today. We're thrilled to have Mayor Nichols with us to speak. We are also thrilled to have visitors from Rotary District 4355 in southern Chile as part of this year's District to District program. We are also joined by our friends from the Oklahoma City Club, Club 29, as part of our annual exchange tradition. I think everybody in this room, wow, what a crowd, let's just say that. So let's get started today. First, we'll have a performance from Phil Armstrong. Then past President Tiffany Egdorf will introduce our guests, followed by another very special musical performance featuring Joseph Bias, Phil Armstrong, Jolyn McCormick, and Donald Ryan. First, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Phil, come on up.
Lift every... Oh, you may be seated. Lift every voice and sing. Lift Every Voice and Sing, often called the Black National Anthem, was written by James Weldon Johnson in 1900 and set to music by his brother, John Rosamond Johnson. It was initially composed as a poem for a school celebration honoring Abraham Lincoln's birthday. The song's lyrics speak of faith, hope, and perseverance in the face of adversity. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Thank you.
Well, hello, everyone. What a beautiful room of smiling faces. So excited you are all here today. We have lots of guests, so I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. And just in case you don't know, the routine is this. As I read your name, whether you're a guest or the host Rotarian, please stand. And everybody hold your applause until I signal you to applause, okay? And then we'll do our visiting Rotarians. John, follow instructions, please. All right. So excited to have all these guests. Dominique Phillips and Demako Owsley are here with John Croissant. Eric, hold those applause. Where's our Sarge? We're going to find people. Eric Ortega and Linda Ortega here with DJ Morrow Ingram, and I think friendly faces we've seen before. Rob Gardner with John Howland. Ashley Daigle with John Woodworth. Holly Stanley here with Ryan Quattrochi. Shane Hatfield with Rob Walters. Ross Swimmer here with Carol Whitehall. Taylor Tinsley with Barney James. Heather Lehman, Sheree Gardner hosting. And Darcy Moran here with Joe Moran. Please welcome our guests. We also have some visiting Rotarians, and our tradition is to say, once I say their name, where they're from, we say hi and their name, okay? So just like this. Visiting Rotarian from Broken Arrow, Steve Barnes. Hi, Steve. Visiting Rotarian from Bricktown Rotary in Oklahoma City, Joanna Blackstock. Hi, Joanne. And visiting Rotarian from Norman Rotary, Jamie Dufresne. Hi, Jamie. Thank you for being with us today. And then another quick guest introduction that I'm honored to do. Real quick, we do a district-to-district exchange. I believe we're in our third full-on year with the back and forth, but I know that there's been an exchange going on for over 20 years. With our sister district in Chile, 4355, and so our friends from Chile Rotary are here. Multiple clubs in that district are here with us today, and I am going to introduce them here in a moment. But first, just to say, this exchange is about a cultural exchange. We share about our Rotary clubs, what we do, what works, what doesn't work, all the celebrations that we have amongst our Rotary world, but we're also sharing just who we are, where we live, what we eat, what we do on Wednesday nights, which the folks I'm hosting will find out tonight. So it's a really wonderful time, and all of you are welcome to apply to go to Chile later this year when those dates are announced. So our group here and their host, the team leader from Chile is Rudy Harwart, and please stand, and his hosts are Teresa and Carly, and we're all spread out. Very good, and hold your applause till I get to the end. Carolina Troutman, she's being hosted by Galen and Lisa Engel. Very good. Loreto Altamirano is here with Trish Kirkstra. Nelson Zuniga and Javier Jungi, he's being hosted by my husband Lee and myself. And we are so excited that you're here. They came Monday. We'll take them to Joplin on Sunday, and then they'll be back with us a little bit in a week or two. So thank you all for being here. Say hello, get to know them. And now a quick banner exchange. This is a tradition in Rotary for those of you who don't know. So those that are doing the banner exchange and President Daniel, if you all will come, do you want down here? Come down here and exchange banners.
John. I think there's one more.
Nope, I think that's everybody. Yeah. Thank you all for doing that. That's so much fun. Very good. And now, one more super important visitor introduction. We're going to do this en masse, though, because I don't know everyone's name. And Daniel, I hope I'm not stepping on your toes here. I might be. But we would love for all of our visiting Rotarians from Oklahoma City to please stand and be stared at. Thank you all for being here. And I think, is Phil up next? Phil, we're excited to have you back up here for another beautiful song.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. As we are getting set, want to introduce to some, reintroduce to others. We are Jubilant Song, and we have been performing concerts over the last 3, almost 4 years. We have a passion and a love and a desire to educate mainly, and then to sing about the passionate and wonderful history of spirituals in American history. Today, we want to direct your attention to your table. There should be a small card there. We'd like for you to come out on May 18th. Our concert last year was a benefit concert. We raised money for the Greenwood Rising Black Wall Street History Center. This year's concert proceeds will go for programming and support of Greenwood Cultural Center. So please support. I see a lot of Rotarians with cell phones out there, so you can utilize the QR code and support this benefit concert on May the 18th in a couple of weeks on Sunday evening, 6 o'clock at Greenwood Cultural Center.
The spiritual is one of America's most beloved genres of really unique American music, along with blues and jazz and pop songs. We are dedicated to carrying on that tradition through the songs that we perform. And one of the ones that we're going to do for you today, we're going to do two, but rather short, was Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. And I understand, Phil, you've got a word to say about that.
This is a bit of history, and it's localized for Oklahoma, and I'm sure this is one key of showing you that we not only sing, but we educate. This is adapted. This is the Negro spiritual Swing Low, and this history is adapted from fellow Rotarian Hannibal B. Johnson, also past president of the Rotary Club, and for those that don't know, he sits at his usual table sitting in the back. The well-known Negro spiritual Swing Low, Sweet Chariot was composed by Wallace Willis, a Choctaw freedman in the Indian Territory of Oklahoma, near what is present-day Hugo, Oklahoma, circa 1865. Some believe Willis was inspired by the sight of the nearby Red River, which reminded him of the Jordan River and of the prophet Elijah being taken to heaven by a chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. Tell all of my friends I'm coming too, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Well, I'm sometimes up and I'm sometimes down, coming for to carry me home. But still my soul feels heaven bound, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Coming for to carry me home. Coming
We'd also like to note that that arrangement of Swing Low was arranged by none other than Mr. Donald Ryan.
Yeah. King Jesus lit a candle by the waterside to see the little children when they truly baptize. Honor, honor unto the dying Lamb. King Jesus lit a candle by the waterside to see the little children when they truly baptize. Honor, honor unto the dying Lamb.
Oh, come along, children, and be baptized. Mighty pretty meeting by the waterside. Honor, honor unto the dying Lamb. Oh, run along, children, and be baptized. Mighty pretty meeting by the waterside. Honor, honor unto the dying Lamb. I prayed all day
And all night too.
My head got sprinkled with the midnight dew.
Unto the dying Lamb. Oh, run along, children, and be baptized. Mighty pretty meeting by the waterside. Honor, honor unto the dying Lamb. Oh, run along, children, and be baptized. Mighty pretty meeting by the waterside. Honor, honor unto the dying Lamb.
That was unbelievable. Joe, Phil, Jolynn, and Donald, we were honored to have you today. Thank you very much. Before we bring the mayor up, one last item of hospitality. I'd like to recognize the Oklahoma City President, Magistrate Suzanne Mitchell, and we have a gift for her. It's a signed copy of Black Wall Street by past President Hannibal Johnson. We like remembering stuff around here. Mayor Monroe Nichols was sworn in as the 41st mayor of Tulsa on December 2nd, 2024, making history as the city's first African-American mayor. Mayor Nichols first came to Tulsa to attend the University of Tulsa, where he earned a bachelor's degree in political science and economics. He later received a master's degree in public administration from the University of Oklahoma. His career spans government, private business, higher education, and nonprofit, all driven by a commitment to improve outcomes for people in Tulsa. Before taking office as mayor, he represented House District 72 in the Oklahoma House of Representatives and served as the chair of the Oklahoma Legislative Black Caucus. We are thrilled to have Mayor Nichols here today to talk about his upcoming term as mayor. Please help me in welcoming the mayor of Tulsa, Monroe Nichols.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Daniel, so much. And thank you to everybody for the warm welcome. You know, I thought I had friends here, and then you guys make me speak after what you just heard. So this is, I mean, I can't help but for this to be a letdown. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. If I were in Oklahoma City, I would consider making my way back to Tulsa on May 18th. That's all I'll tell you. Wonderful job, and thank you for blessing us this afternoon. I want to extend a special greeting to our friends from Oklahoma City. Suzanne, thank you for bringing the Oklahoma City Rotary to Tulsa. Obviously, we're glad to have you here, and I think it's such a great example of the kind of statewide engagement our two cities benefit from so much. We know in Oklahoma, there's certain things that Tulsa and Oklahoma City just share together that no other community does, and so having you here with us in this space means so much to those of us here in Tulsa. It's also not lost on any of us here that we are not far removed from the 30th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing, and as always, I hope everybody in Oklahoma City knows that your neighbors down the turnpike are always here to stand with you and your community as you continue to heal from that horrible event, but we also continue to build toward a brighter future. To my friends here at the Tulsa Rotary, thank you so much for all you do in our community. As I walked in, I'm always reminded when I come here that when I see people here who I've known for a long time, or maybe I just met yesterday, in the case of a couple folks in here, I always find Rotarians doing things that are improving our community. So you all are well represented in every space where good is being done around Tulsa. And I think for me, that's one of my takeaways every time I'm in this space with Rotarians. Service above self. That is at the heart of the Rotary of Tulsa. And I think it's perfect for the times we find ourselves in. I feel it appropriate, since we are in a church and my grandfather's United Methodist minister, that I just quickly, now I'm not a biblical scholar, but every once in a while I like to sprinkle a few things in there to help set a little bit of context. And so it is with that today in Galatians we find in chapter 6 verse 9 the words, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for in the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Little known fact about me is I don't read fiction books. People make fun of me all the time because of it, but the reason is because I really like to learn about events and people, because what's interesting about those things is that we know how somebody may have ended up or what happened at an event that we all know about, but the context of how we got there is something that always is impactful to me. And so people joke with me all the time. They say, "Monroe, it's kind of weird that every book you read, you already know the ending to." But I think it is the journey you go on. When we see folks that inspire us or events that interest us, there's always something that led up to that event. And that has always taken me in so many ways. I think about things like, the fact that, World War I may have started with one assassination, or somebody like Lyndon Baines Johnson, who spent most of his career as a politician gutting civil rights legislation, would go and be president and sign and push the most aggressive civil rights legislation through Congress in the 60s. Like, how did that happen? Who are these people? How did they get here? It's funny because I think about the city in very similar ways, and it probably wouldn't come as a surprise knowing that about me. I consistently think about the city in the terms of who we were, who we are, and who we will be. 38 Tulsans occupied the mayor's office, leading 40 different administrations before I took office on December 2nd. Our first mayor actually took office before Tulsa was even a city. And it's interesting to me knowing the different challenges and opportunities and good times and bad that all the folks who served before me seemed to find in their time in office. From our incorporation in 1898, the discovery of oil in Red Fork in 1901, which would make us the oil capital of the world, it's clear Tulsa's always set the standard for progress and innovation, and so much so that we will become the center of black wealth, and some of the titans of the oil industry would build one of America's most beautiful cities. Just as we have so much to celebrate in our history has not been absent trials and challenges. A city whose history really actually begins with the legacy of Indian removal and a race massacre that left 300 dead and 37 blocks flattened, and at one point an exodus of the oil industry. All these things are well documented in history, and if you're curious about any one of them, I bet Hannibal has a book he'd be willing to sell you. But that's just a little bit about who we were. Full of complexities, a lot to celebrate, a lot to challenge us, a lot to really set the stage for who we are today. And who are we today? Today, we're a community that boasts a top 100 university, world-class museums, wonderful neighborhoods that serve as the backbone of our city. We're a growing giant in entrepreneurship, and we are really fully coming to terms with our past and beginning to consider the real ways in which we begin to address the harm from it. We are America's largest city, wholly situated on Indian reservations, unapologetically standing with our native brothers and sisters, and we are, in fact, America's most generous city. Oklahoma City's pretty generous, too. But all these things are foundations of greatness. As proud as we are today, our current context, much like our history, is not without challenge. We are a community today, like so many other cities, that struggle with really stubborn challenges: homelessness, economic inequality, the availability of affordable housing, shortcomings, if we're being honest, in our collective ability to meet the needs of our students in schools, and sometimes safety in our neighborhoods. When I think about Tulsa's future with our historical context and our present-day realities, I really still do think about promise. Now, when I think about promise, I'm not just thinking about it in the context of potential, but I'm thinking about promise as in commitment. The commitments we make to each other, the promises we have to uphold for our children, the pledges we renew every single day to make our city better. I imagine there's some Rotarians here who became Rotarians for that very reason. Because that commitment at the end of the day is that service above self that I talked about. Maybe put a different way, the Rotarian way. Eric Liu has been somebody who's become somewhat of a kind of professional mentor of mine. Eric was a speechwriter for President Clinton, and due to the divisiveness he saw just between his neighbors after the 2016 election, actually, in Seattle, he wanted to bring people together just to talk about how do we build a better neighborhood, and then talk about how we build a better city, and then how do we build a better region, how we build a better country, not blinded by the fight about who we voted for president or governor or mayor, but in our collective responsibility to do what we have to do in our own communities. He said something one time that always stuck with me. Eric said the number one responsibility we have in a civilized society is to figure out how we're going to live together. And that brings me to what I believe we will be in Tulsa. Given the road we've traveled and who we are today, I truly believe we're on a track to make Tulsa the greatest city in America, with Oklahoma City coming in close second. Just kidding. I love you guys. I do. A-okay in my book. But that's because we'll be a city that dared to be bold and addressing the challenges that we know are stubborn, the ones that we know are difficult. Things like ending homelessness, increasing our affordable housing stock, making Tulsa the safest big city in America, improving student outcomes, expanding economic opportunity, and yes, although sometimes unpopular in some circles, co-governing with our tribal nations. I think it's incredibly important that we confront this crisis of homelessness, where our numbers are up 22.5% just since 2023. It's a complex challenge, and since taking office, we fully committed ourselves to really address all the complexities there within. We've carved out a strategy that calls on us to create a system of supports for those living on the streets that includes those mental health and substance abuse supports, but frankly, also just the financial supports. There's a number of people who live on the streets today because they couldn't pay a bill. And we have to have the courage to move beyond this idea that maybe somebody is to blame for their circumstance and understand, like, people living on the streets not good for any of us. And so letting go of some of the old ideas and mental models that we have is part of that courage that it's going to take. That strategy also calls for us to expand our shelter capacity. The shelters in this town are at 100% or over 100% as I speak right now today. We must also be bold in our goal to reduce the number of evictions while increasing that affordable housing stock that I talked about. And frankly, it's been really interesting. We've talked a lot about downtown. We're sitting in downtown right now. And when I got in office, the issues around our unhoused population was something that every business owner came to me about. everybody who lived downtown came to me about. And I think it's really important that they did. And the first thing that we did was actually expanded our alternative response teams to make sure that we get people the intervention that they need, not necessarily an intervention that basically reinforces bad mental models. And I do believe that our work downtown has done a lot to clean things up, but we have a very long way to go. We've only showed what is possible when we come together. We have not solved the problem, but I think we've begun to turn a bit of a corner with a long way to go. Among those folks in our homeless population are about 3,000 individuals who currently sit on the wait list for housing assistance. We should know these aren't people who just enjoy living on the streets. Many of them are folks who are trying very hard to get housing, where the average wait time today is about a year. When you match this number with the fact that 46% of people in our city are cost burdened by housing expenses, we see where we have a problem that if we don't act boldly, it could easily get worse. As we face this reality of thousands of our neighbors who are living without the dignity of a consistent roof over their heads, we must realize that housing is not just a housing issue or a policy issue, it's a moral issue. And so to meet this commitment, the folks who work on your behalf at the city have already created a new housing acceleration team to align our zoning and permitting processes to accelerate getting new housing units online. We'll soon actually launch a community builder program that in an effort to incentivize those who are helping bring affordable units online and revitalize neighborhoods. Also, because I'm a big data guy, we have a goal of getting 6,000 units, affordable units online by 2028. So you as citizens, in just a matter of weeks, will be able to track our progress online. Because I do think it's important that we all share in these goals. These are not simply the goals of one mayor, one government. It's the goals of the city, and so we all need to hold each other accountable in getting there. We're also in the final stages of crafting a plan to put to effective use the $75 million you all approved. Maybe not you from Oklahoma City, but we could have used your votes. Everybody approving the Improve Our Tulsa plan. Our goal is to make sure that the funding that we put out into the system aligns with the needs of developers, so that we make sure we don't just have money that we approve that doesn't do anything, but we put money in the system that meets the needs of those who are helping us expand housing, which will lead to the biggest expansion of affordable housing in our city's history. I truly believe Tulsa can be the safest big city in the country. A lot of people think that's a political line. It's actually not. I use that very specifically because there's a list of the safest big cities in the country. And it's measured by violent crime, property crimes. It's measured by vehicular fatalities and drug addiction. And so we are aligning ourselves to meet those needs in this community. But I also believe that we have to redefine what public safety means. It's not just the absence of crime, but it's the presence of trust and opportunity in every neighborhood and at every level, not just from a fire and police and medical response, but it's about strengthening relationships, creating an accountable government, and ensuring neighborhoods are places where residents can thrive. Since taking office, we've put a focus on ending the backlog on rape kit testing. We've launched the Neighborhood Conditions Index to make sure we're investing in neighborhoods. We've embedded mental health clinicians at the 911 center, and just last month alone, had 700 people diverted from a law enforcement interaction to a more appropriate interaction with the mental health professional. We understand that part of this world is making sure that we get violent criminals off the street, and that's really important. But unless we invest in people, unless we invest in neighborhoods, we're simply just shifting the problem to a different day. And that's not the Tulsa way. Of all the issues we face, nothing is more important to me than investing in our children's future. I believe academic success is the foundation upon which opportunity is built. And every child in this city deserves a high-quality education. In March, we launched the Office of Children, Youth, and Families, focused on putting 15,000 more Tulsa kids on a pathway to economic mobility. Next month, we'll have our first Children's Cabinet meeting, which I'm really excited about, which will officially start our cradle-to-career collaboration with schools and community partners. I believe our children are our greatest asset. I believe when we invest in them, we invest in our city's future. and it's far past time that we made the investments to ensure that no child's outcome is based on their family's income or the zip code in which they live. As we look forward to building a city of greater opportunity, we must keep in mind that economic inequality still exists. The data tells us that 1 in 4 Tulsans live in poverty, and in North Tulsa that number grows to 1 in 3. And so over the next 4 years, we'll be prioritizing investments in all parts in our city, and to that end, we are working to create pathways for youth from a standpoint of workforce opportunities. We're championing local businesses and investing in entrepreneurship. Actually, we as a community just cut the ribbon on what I believe to be, I'm going to say this, I'm the mayor, so I'm going to go ahead and say, if you guys go check, maybe there's one a little bit bigger, but I believe it is the largest innovation hub in the country at Gradient downtown, where entrepreneurs are coming from all over the place, really creating businesses and expanding this economy. We're working on cutting the red tape at City Hall to drive down the cost of doing business in this city. I understand part of developing affordable housing and making this attractive place is making sure it's a good place to do business. And we're working hard to do that every single day. We have an aggressive plan to attract diverse industries to create jobs. Last month was the hottest month in about 3 years with businesses looking to relocate to Tulsa. So the opportunity exists and it's right out there for us to take. So we've already crafted a pathway. We've actually created, 3 new TIF districts in Tulsa. That's going to be there for housing, jobs, and opportunity. We've solidified our commitment to the new Convention Center Hotel downtown. I'm a little stressed out because we got to move a whole police department, a whole jail, and a whole municipal court. They don't tell you that when you're running. They say, oh, we got this new hotel. By the way, also, you have to move all this stuff out of the way to get there. It's so much fun, guys. Last month, I also signed an executive order creating the Tulsa Sustainability Task Force to advise the city on how we ensure we have a more sustainable, resilient, and economically efficient city built for the future. We got a lot going for us. We are home to the largest commercial aerospace maintenance base facility in the world. We have the largest inland port in the country. We will soon lead the area, actually the whole country, in rocket engine testing. And we're already, I am told, the drone capital of the world. Even in these uncertain times, Tulsa is in fact rolling, and we've never been more open for business. Before Tulsa was Tulsa, it was Indian country. 188 years later, it remains Indian country. And so it's only right that we proudly stand on the side of tribal sovereignty, and since I took office, we've been focused on strengthening partnerships and establishing a trust-based co-governing relationship between tribal nations in the city. We're actually just maybe days away from finalizing a framework that will allow us to work with all of our tribes in this city on issues regarding public safety. I'm just going to say this real quick. I made a commitment when I got elected to get us out of the courtroom. We've gotten ourselves out of the courtroom, and since I've been elected, I've met with all 3 chiefs all together twice and others on occasion. And I'm very excited about the future in which we can move forward in that trust-based relationship that I talked about. Given our origins as a city, I am focused on making Tulsa home, a place where Native communities can thrive. I aspire that this city will be the gateway to Indian country, a center of Native culture, entrepreneurship, economic opportunity, and excellence. So as I think about the road ahead and who we're going to be, some of that I saw in evidence last night. Last night we had the first of 5 community conversations. We took City Hall to the community. Every city department was at Hardesty Library last night. We'll have 4 others across the city over the next couple weeks. But it was really done in a belief that the road ahead calls on us all to do our part and to demonstrate that local government works for, listens to, and engages with citizens. What I believe is that if we're divided, any progress that we've made will be zeroed out. I believe the city's future relies on our capacity to engage with each other. And I believe in my heart that's what most Tulsans want. So part of this work is ensuring that we don't gloss over things that challenge us. Rather, that be standing with our brothers and sisters in immigrant communities at a time of intense anxiety, or taking a step back to address decades-old trauma. I know the group from Oklahoma City, right before coming here, visited Greenwood Rising, and I'm glad you got the opportunity to do that. And I'm really proud that this June 1st will be our first Tulsa Race Massacre Day of Observance. On the occasion of this day, I'll be announcing additional steps that we'll take as a community to address harm, bringing a respectful close to one chapter in our city's history and allowing us to be fully united as we write the new ones. We are a diverse city, but we are one city. And make no mistake that the only pathway to progress is the one that we'll travel together. Imagine a city that we can build, a city where we end homelessness, making it rare, brief, and non-recurring, a city where every family has a home that they can afford, a city that is the safest in the country, where every neighborhood is thriving, a city where every child is poised for success through the quality education we have here locally, a city that prioritizes economic development in every part of our community, and a city primed to win the next decade and beyond. I truly believe that's the city we're on track to be. I think it's a city that we can create together. So that's us, who we were, who we are, and who we will be. I know the road ahead will take work, and there will be setbacks and challenges, but I also know the people of this city are strong, determined, and unwavering in their commitment to make this the best city it can possibly be. Let us not grow weary in doing good, but instead let's face this moment with courage, compassion, and prove to ourselves and to the world that our harvest, Tulsa's best days, are still ahead of us. You know, I mentioned Eric Liu a second ago. Eric Liu said this other thing that I thought was fascinating. He talked about the difference between hope and optimism, two words that I actually kind of felt were the same. And he said optimism and hope are different because optimism is this blind belief that things will just get better. Hope comes through intentionality, is what he said. And he likes to tease me, so he put it in terms that Monroe could understand. He said, Monroe, you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm sure you believe that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl every year. I was offended, and I said, yes, I do. And he said, well, the problem is with that, the difference between that optimism that you have and hope is that you won't throw a football or you won't coach or you won't make decisions as a GM. And I said, well, if I did, we definitely would win a Super Bowl. That is correct. He said, so that's optimism. But hope is what it means to become a Rotarian, for example. Somebody who decides to get involved, and so you have faith that things are going to get better because you know you're making your contribution to make it happen. This is a city of hope. And yes, maybe we have optimism, but it is rooted and grounded in the fact that we're all going to do it together. You know, I oftentimes talk about this flag I wear on my lapel pin. It's the Tulsa flag. And just several years ago, we changed it, and it's filled with symbolism. I'm sure everybody knows what it means, but I'm just going to give you a little briefer, a little dusting of a reminder of what it is. The blue at the top of the flag represents the Arkansas River. The gold band in the middle is a nod to us striking oil in 1901. The dream catcher is actually obviously recognizing our native tribes. The three bars are the Osage, Cherokee, and Creek Nations. The red in the middle is the blood shed by those who died during the Tulsa Race Massacre. The beige at the bottom is what our friends from Oklahoma City were able to witness today, which is the warmth of our community. But the star is the best part of it. The star is about Tulsa's future. And it's that future that I think about every day. You know, I used to spend a lot of time in Oklahoma City. And Daniel, don't worry, I'm almost done. I spent a lot of time in Oklahoma City as a legislator. I was in the legislature for 8 years. And so I want to thank my friends from Oklahoma City for always being welcoming to those of us from around the state. I can't imagine what it's like to import a bunch of legislators for 5 months out of the year. But I imagine you're really happy when you send us on our way in May. But somebody asked me, what's the best thing and worst thing about being mayor as it relates to being in the legislature, like the difference, the good and the bad and the difference. And I said, well, the good thing is pretty obvious. The good thing is, like, I was a Democrat in the Oklahoma legislature, so that can be rough sometimes. So being mayor, that's a lot better. The bad thing is, though, when I was a legislator, I got to pick my issues. As mayor, those issues tend to pick you. But it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm so happy to be mayor of the city at this time. And I thank you, all of you, for your trust and your partnership. Our work to build a strong, prosperous, and united city is everyday work, and I couldn't be happier than be doing it with those folks around this room. God bless each of you. God bless America's greatest city, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Thank you, Mayor Nichols, for that thrilling speech. We have a gift for you, too. We'd like to honor you as an honorary Rotarian today as our mayor.
Barney, I don't have to do it. He told me. Where's Barney? Oh, no, it's done deal. Done deal.
All right, well, we can make it official right here. This is meant to symbolize our shared interest in service above self, and that is apparent in you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you got it.
I'll be happy to commiserate with you sometime, too, over the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, man. Well, or be sad.
A book celebrating today's program will be presented to our partner in education school, Celia Clinton Elementary. This week's book is We Do Not Eat Our Neighbors. Upcoming programs, next week we will not meet here. It's our Service Above Self Day. We will meet at Goodwill Industries, where our members can volunteer sorting clothing and doing anything else that helps their mission. May 7th is our annual Above and Beyond Awards, where we will honor our first responders. And May 14th will be our program focused on youth services. Committee meetings today, Crescendo Music Award grants will meet in room 231, and DAC-DB training will be in room 232. I want to again thank our visitors from Chile for being here today. I think our district to district is one of the best things that our club does on a global scale. It helps us with cultural understanding and acceptance. And to our friends from Oklahoma City, it's been a joy to have you here today. We love this tradition, and we are very much looking forward to visiting you again next year. Now, to everybody, my fellow Tulsa Rotarians will tell you that I like to close these meetings with a comment on baseball, often because I find inspiration. I was happy to see that the AAA club in Oklahoma City recently rebranded as the OKC Comets in honor of Oklahoma's own Mickey Mantle, also known as the Commerce Comet, having grown up in Commerce, Oklahoma. We all know of Mickey's greatness, but I found a story of him oddly inspirational. After an unusually bad game where he struck out 3 times, Mickey said he was sulking in the clubhouse with his head hanging down. Timmy Berra, the young son of Yogi Berra, approached him, put his hands on his shoulder. This is how Mickey described what happened next. Quote, "I figured he was going to say something nice to me. You know, like, keep hanging in there, or something like that. But all he did was he looked at me, and then he said in that little kid's voice, 'You stunk.'" Let's just say that my 7-year-old son shares that honest streak, and sometimes it does actually inspire me to do just a little bit better. To our visitors, safe travels home, and I would like to close with this. Go Thunder!